Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Welcome back to Realistic Sustainability Shorts. I used to say educational shorts, but I guess they're just shorts now. They shift around. Who knows? Anyways, this is day 6 of our Hawaiian experience. You know, I get all like insecure and self-conscious when I'm talking about this vacation, but recently I had several people in my neighborhood tell me how much they would love to go to Hawaii just from listening to this. So since there's only a few more days left, I figured we might as well finish it out. And this one is day 6. And don't worry, once I get through this vacation that we took, there's going to be other normal shorts. Matter of fact, I might even squeeze some in before this thing's even done with, because I've got several of them already teed up. But this short is brought to you by Earth Roast Coffee. Earth Roast is a company that I got kind of hooked up with or found on BlueSky. Since I'm new there and only have about like 30 followers. One of them is Earth Roast Coffee. I decided that I would look into them and maybe even give them a shot. As we all know, I'm a little picky about my coffee, and I've been known to traffic back large amounts from Hawaii every time I go. Now, this far into our vacation, I had not found that coffee yet. But I figured since I got a chance to kind of chat very briefly with the people from Earth Roast, I'd give them a try. They have a ton of specialty flavors. And if anybody knows me, I'm not a huge fan of flavored coffee. I got the Hudson River blend that is coffee flavored coffee. And I had that ordered whole bean coffee sent to me. Well, since then, I've tried several pots of it. It's made my rotation. And even though they have a ton of other flavored coffees, they also have beard care products, body butters, deodorants, soaps, shampoos, all kinds of stuff. I just bought the coffee, but because I liked it, I got a hold of them, and now we get to work together. If you'd like to try their sustainably sourced Earth Roast coffee, go to the link down in the description, and don't forget to use code REALSUSTAIN15 and get 15% off your order. Anyways, let's get back to day 6 of the Hawaiian trip. Whenever you go to the Big Island of Hawaii, you have to spend at least one day in Kona. Kona is more like the city that is more like your U.S. cities. It is a normally structured, clean, active city. This is where the cruise ships dock. It's clean. It's easily accessible. A lot of things are packed around that dock area. There's outdoor malls and there's flea markets. A lot of the stuff is the same commercialized things. The restaurants are all corporate owned. Very rarely do you find an individually owned restaurant in that area. But we did spend some time walking around, going to all the different vendors and through the mall. This is where, like I said before, Jami thinks that so often that the locals are just messing with us. But we stopped to get some shaved ice. Mike was asking about the gentleman who worked there and why his bicycle was behind him. That's his mode of transportation. He lives close. He can ride in. But the gentleman was saying, man, it's been so slow today. I keep trying to get the boss to let me go home. There's not a lot of business. I could lock up. I could go do whatever I wanted to do. So Mike, of course, asked, what is it that you would want to do? And that is where he went on a long discussion on hunting in Hawaii. That he would leave, he would go home, and he would wander the jungles looking for prey, wild boar, and even wild cows. I don't have to tell you, but that was confusing to me because I was never under the assumption that cows were wild. They were basically really, really big goldfish. If you let them out of the pen, they come back when they're hungry. That's not how it is in Hawaii. Apparently, long, long ago, a king was gifted some cows. They really didn't know what to do with them, but those cows continued to breed and breed and breed and breed until there was far too many. And since no one told them you're supposed to use them as food or to get milk and make butter and cheese, they just let them go. So the Big Island of Hawaii had a ton of wild cows and bulls. Now they've actually adapted to the jungles and adapted to nature to be pretty aggressive. And then, according to this young man, they're allowed to go out and hunt those whenever they want. So apparently, somewhere in Hawaii in the jungles, there's wildly aggressive bulls just wandering around because no one knew what to do with them after getting a gift. Anyways, we parked in this little flea market area, wandered the whole area for hours. It was all right. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but when you're with friends, you go wherever you're asked to go. By the time we get back to the vehicle, it was 5 minutes after we're supposed to move or add some more money for parking. Guess what? We got a ticket. A ticket on the window. We sat in the car discussing if we should pay the ticket or not. And then I believe it was $60. We paid it online while sitting there. It was fun walking around, but the ticket was a full-blown debate inside of our Jeep. And me being me, saying, well, we should probably pay it. It got paid. We moved on about our day. As we're driving around, Jamie's Googling. This was a cool part of our trip, is that she would sit there and constantly search for cool areas wherever we were using Google. And she did it again. She found this really cool coastal spot just north of Kona. And as we were looking for it, she kept saying, just look for the road. There's a road that takes you back to it. About 15 or 20 minutes, we finally find this little road just taken off through the middle of the lava, and you can see the coast in the far distance. Okay, here we go. We get back maybe an eighth of a mile, and the road stops. There's a parking lot there where there was a significant amount of cars, but that's not where we wanted to go. We wanted to go to the coast, and it looked like there was a little dirt path that led from the coast. Jamie said, on the map, it looks like a road. Let's take it. Well, we did. Boy, it's good we had a Jeep with us. That electric Jeep really paid off at that moment. That road, not a road, not even close to a road. And it's not like you can go around the road on the side because it's all lava rock. It's way worse over there than it is on this not road. I feel like it was a road at some point. Lava covered it, and they just chipped away at it to the best of their ability to make it a road again. At times, we were laughing. People are bumping their head on the ceiling as I'm slowly trying to drive this Jeep to the back area. It was hilarious. That's why, if you follow me on Facebook, there's a video of us coming back. It was so ridiculous going in, we had to document it coming back out. Now, it doesn't seem that bad. We're holding the phone steady, but man, I had a lot of worries we were going to lose that Jeep, damage that Jeep, or at least get it stuck. Anyways, it was a beautiful area. Jamie was right. We finally make our way all the way to the coastline, and it was one of the more beautiful places we've ever been. I spent the whole time live streaming waves and wandering up and down the shorelines, while Nicole and Jameson were looking for bleached coral pieces that could spell out things. Jamie spent so much time doing that, she found enough pieces to say love, and you'll see pictures on my Facebook or hers from that trip, from that day. Then she found enough to say Addison, enough to say Grayson, and enough to say Aiden. She had a real good time finding different coral pieces to spell out different things. Again, I just jumped from lava rock to lava rock until my calves and hips were so sore that I just had to sit and watch the ocean. We had a great time. Then the sun started to go down. Matter of fact, again, if you're following my Facebook, you watched it live. I live streamed. I got to tell you, it goes way faster than you think. It seems like something that would take a significant amount of time. It doesn't. We got recording. In just a matter of minutes, the sun was gone. Not long after the sun went down, we noticed all the locals were packing up. Now, I don't know if it's because they had to be home at a certain time or that area becomes dangerous. But when the locals leave, we leave. We packed up all of our things, hopped in the Jeep, and went through that whole knot road yet again. This time, I followed a few other people, which seemed to make it a little bit easier. We laughed, we joked. That was a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, that means from now on, I'm going to have to probably rent a Jeep because just getting back to that spot was worth the day. So once we got out, we had to go stop at a restaurant, and we picked a place purely because of its name. In the Kona Strip, we went to Humpy's. Yep, Humpy's. And its mascot is a whale. We were up on the balcony with a beautiful sight, a beautiful view of the ocean and a volleyball court. The food was, commercial, but decent. None of it is locally sourced, but it wasn't a bad meal. We watched a bunch of people play volleyball on the sand court outside and listened to the ocean while talking about our wonderful day climbing the rocks in the Jeep. It was a good day. But this is where the parking comes back into play. You had to park with the same company, register with the same company when you were at those restaurants. So we asked the waitress if she would validate our parking and if we could add time with her while we were there. She said yes, of course, but you don't have to add time. That some company from the mainland, some corporation, bought up all the parking in Kona. They now charge exorbitant rates even to the locals who can't even park near their jobs anymore. But she wanted to let us know those companies, they don't have any teeth. They're not tied to the police. They just put menacing notes on your car in the hopes that you will pay. When she says that, everybody turns and looks at me because, yeah, I'm the reason why we paid the fine the last time. She said, it's okay. I'll validate your parking, but don't add any more money. It doesn't. They can't do anything to you. So just keep in mind, if you're going to Kona, apparently some corporation has bought up all the parking out there and is really causing grief for the locals. It was nice to know. Everybody picked on me for being the guy that said we had to make sure we paid that bill. But, it is what it is. With that, we called it a night. And for that, that's all we had for you today. This short was brought to you by Earth Roast Coffee. Fun to say that. Try some of their amazing flavors. Again, I got the Hudson River whole bean blend because I like coffee flavored coffee. And if you want to try their coffee or any of their other sustainable products, Realistic Sustainability listeners get 15% off. And it looks like there's free shipping over $60. Just use promo code RealSustain15. Just click the link in the description and give it a try. And again, thank you for listening. If you like this episode, share it with a friend or on social media. Please don't forget, hit the like, hit the follow. And if you really like this show and you want to do something for it, leave it a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Want to follow me personally? I'm Michael.Nazarian.79 at Facebook, Real Sustain on TikTok or Instagram, or Real Sustain GYL at BlueSky and Threads. And remember, we're just trying to get a little bit better each day. Little bit, big bit. I'm Mike, and we'll see you soon.